This is a typical burn build. And this is the burn build you want to play. With unlimited signature weapon ammo, huge weapon damage buffs, and damage over time ticks that melt enemies. Is there anything this build can't do? Well, yes, but more on that later. The tip of the spear was nerfed last year and is now the red-headed stepchild of gear sets. The big challenge with the gear set is that the true one-shot signature weapons don't have enough ammo, while those with large ammo reserves don't hit hard enough. So how did I solve this? On paper, the gear set bonuses look good. Buffs to weapon damage and signature weapon damage, which is increased on a kill, and signature weapon ammo regenerating every 60 seconds. For this build I will be using the holster, knee pads and gloves of the gear set, but which of the chest piece or backpack talent is worth using? Well, the chest piece talent increases the signature weapon damage buff and adds ammo on kill, but only every 3 kills, and this is just not enough. The backpack talent meanwhile increases weapon damage by a whopping 50% for 15 seconds after running out of the signature weapon ammo, and doubles the base ammo regeneration, which for this build makes it essential. But none of this solves the issue with the gear set. To do that I had to make the flamethrower from the firewall specialization into a 1 burst kill weapon, so my ammo would last entire fights. And I did this by doing 3 specific things. I rolled 5 attributes to status effects that buff the base damage of the flamethrower and the burn damage over time that it deals. To further increase the damage dealt, I used the Vile Mask, which comes with the talent Toxic Delivery, which inflicts an additional damage over time debuff whenever a status effect is applied. And for this build, the debuff hits for a spicy 1.1 million of damage. The final piece of the puzzle was a Golem Gear chest piece, which adds 10% status effects as its brand set bonus, and the Talent Glass Cannon. This is the talent that makes the build and almost breaks it. 25% amplified damage from all sources is huge and means that any burn damage will one-shot an elite enemy. Named enemies are made of tougher stuff though, and our signature weapon does less damage against them, so they will need a little encouragement to pop their clogs. To help them on their way, I'm using the Ouroboros and the porno movie of weapons, the Honey Badger with Optimist. So the missing piece to the build was Glass Cannon, but this also presented its biggest challenge. Most Glass Cannon builds involve a lot of hiding and cover to avoid the additional 50% amplified damage taken, but that is not how this build plays. How am I able to survive? Well, 4 things got the build there. A Striker Shield with 4.7 million health, which also adds 7% damage per enemy in front of the shield, 5 armor cores for 1.7 million of armor, and a Reinforcer Chem Launcher with 4 repair skill attributes, which heals me for just under half of my armor each time. And finally, the Firewall Armor Kit, which heals for 200% of armor and 200% health over 10 seconds. The strongest armor kit in the game. This build is just a blast in heroic content, and instantly melting groups of enemies in the open world never gets stale, but only the seriously masochistic will enjoy harder content than that on their nights out of the dungeon.